Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And This is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. Carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the Earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 338th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, August 6, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, we have the honor of being joined with members and support members of the Universal Council here today. And I believe they are ready, willing, and able to carry on here. So let me get today's presentation ready.
Yes, Rick, can you hear me properly? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, fantastic, because my internet usually is not always perfect. I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Stefania Taddetta, and I'm a member of the Universal Council and a representative of the Italian language. I'm honored to be here today to introduce the workshop of the Universal Council. Meanwhile, Rick get ready, I'm gonna do my introduction. So today it's a very special day because last week, the 2nd of August, 2024, as maybe most of you know, was the birthday of Mr. Keshe. So happy birthday, Mr. Keshe. But also was the birthday of the Universal Council. So happy birthday, Universal Council. And usually, when there is a birthday of the Universal Council and Mr. Keshe, we always have a big announcement and a big present. So today we're going to talk about those announcements and this big present that we had received. So the big announcement is that the technology, the plasma technology, it's ready to be shown in full and will be showed in the Congress of Iran and then in the Congress of Washington. And we go on with the Congress of in Moscow and so on. And the big present, it's that being gifted, all of us, all humanity has been gifted with the plasma energy, that it's the energy of peace. And we'll understand with the workshop today why we say this and what is about to come. So today we're going to talk also on what we're going to we need to get ready for those dates, for those big events. As knowledge seeker, on spreading the technology as fast as we can, like we did during the pandemic with the CAP 1 and CAP 2. So we're going to have to repeat the same. Once they're going to show the technology, we have to then spread it and teach it to everybody. So it's very important that we understand in all of us how the plasma work, how can be applied, and how can be taught. So this is very, very important to ensure equality for everybody and to ensure that we reach anyone on this planet. And also, he gave us last week, he gives some work to do regarding the Universal Council. So the Universal Council, together with the Earth Council and the United Nations, they will also have to get ready to prepare a structure for what is about to come. Because if we're going to show, for example, in Iran, that we can produce material out of air, obviously this will bring big change in our society of today. So we need to have a structure for that, because to have different government, different nation, maybe at this point will be unnecessary. That's why Mr. Keshe talked about one nation policy. And also, if we're going to show that in the Washington Congress, for example, that we're gonna transmute a mass of people, a group of people, then no need any longer of a passport. So all these things need to be put in place, so the government can accept easily the new technology, and also we can ensure that we can reach this equality. There are quite big announcement, because Mr. Keshe also said that the moment they're going to show the full power of the technology, basically every human being on this planet, we will achieve prosperity. We will achieve, everyone will get what they need in the point of need. Lots of things will be different at that point. No more suffering, no more injustice. So it's very important steps that we need to be ready for. That's why today we also going to talk, I think Andrea is going to talk about this. He's going to talk how we can get together to make sure that when the technology will be delivered, we are ready as a knowledge seeker to make sure that no one can stop us to spread the technology as fast as we can between all of us. So this is my introduction. I think I said quite a lot. And we're gonna now start with the wishes. I noticed, Rick, you don't have the video that Italian group done for happy birthday to the Universal Council. I think maybe it's been
no, I have that. I have the link to it.
Okay,
I don't have the video.
Good.
I have it on YouTube. I have to play it through YouTube because I don't have the original.
Okay. If you can play it, or you want me to send you the original? Do you want me to send you the link I have?
Well, I can play it. It's just.
If you can play it, it's fine. If you can play, it's fine.
Do you want to play that now?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, because it's the board of the Universal Council, and then we can go on with the presentation. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, let me just find it here. I think it's this one.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very brief. It's made from Italian knowledge seeker. Just to say happy birthday to the Universal Council. Yeah, this one is board of Mr. Keshe. There was another one for the Universal Council. Maybe you don't have that one. I will send to you.
Is this the one you mean? The one from Italian? This is the link that I have from Andreas.
Yeah, exactly. We got two. What I noticed in the presentation, there is supposed to be two links, but there is one. One was the video. This is the video for the birthday of Mr. Keshe that we can play. And then the other one is a video of a birthday for the Universal Council. We make two videos. But we can play this one because
I don't have that one, I don't think.
I'll send it to you if you want, and then we can play later.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. It was very short. Thank you so much. Okay, we can go on with the presentation, and I will send you the one of the Universal Council as we go forward. Thank you so much. We, the Universal Council, create conditions to ensure full protection of Mr. Keshe.
We are present. We, the Universal Council, wish and give from our soul, elevating all souls engaged in war to a permanent peaceful condition, making all weapons of war obsolete forever. Our wish is our command. I am present.
We, the Universal Council, wish to protect the physicality of Mr. Keshe, and we enforce it because we have the knowledge, we have the technology, we have the know-how, and we have the systems that will deliver it.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish all learn, teach, and live according to the knowledge of the creation. Our wish is our command.
We are present.
We give from our energies that all citizens have the freedom to travel and change their map conditions. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
We are present. We, the Universal Council, give from our souls to elevate all souls living in peaceful conditions. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish the war in one be peace in all.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish that the natural processes on Earth, like bushfire and forest fire, called cold burn, comes in balance. We elevate the souls of all to recognize and accept these necessary conditions for nature since thousands of years ago, for example in Australia.
We are present.
Okay, next we have an excerpt from the 23rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Learn how to pray through your soul. And this starts at about the 2 hour and 37-minute mark.
Let us teach or let us learn how to pray through your soul that you can reach. Let us learn how we can give through our souls that we can elevate other souls to the level that we are in, or without prejudice, allowing their souls to elevate above our soul, without the fear that there'll be anything, we'll be short of anything. Maybe this is what has never been taught by the Prophet of the past, is that giving does not need to be by words and by thoughts, but it has to be by emotion, where it touches the soul and touches the, gives to the receiver what he needs to take from it. Maybe is the way to understand by giving we don't lose anything, And by giving, we don't become less poor or poorer. Maybe it's a new way of teaching, the way we teach and the way we live in the universe. Detached from physicality, but attached to the emotions that can affect the physicality, because the physical side of any being in the universe is a slave to the emotion. Maybe it's time to start a new way of looking and how to share not only the knowledge but the emotions in the true sense, or allowing access to the soul. This is where you can open your soul to any soul to receive what they need. At the same time, you find out you receive what the soul needs to give. So at the same time as you're a teacher, you become a student. At the same time as you're a nourisher, you get nourished from the higher levels, or equal and plus. Maybe I'll go back to the question, or something which was raised by Rick about, or question raised about, what do we think about Gaza? Let us all give freely through our soul to the Prime Minister of Israel, that his soul will receive as much as he needs, and through it will affect the work and the direction. Maybe by giving freely to his soul to take what he leaves, we reach the soul of the people who finance these things. Because the man is a spokesman, and the people who decide sit behind the curtains. Maybe through his soul we can reach those who finance these things, or encourage these things, that their soul changes. We don't pray for the man, we pray for the soul of the man, or we give to the soul of the man. There are hundreds of thousands of millions of, there are millions of supporters of Keshe Foundation we know around the world. And I know a lot of people listen to these workshops. You spend time every day and open your soul to the Prime Minister of Israel, and the same to the other side. That through them will reach to their paymasters. And through them, they will see that the man elevates to the next point, next position. And maybe, as I say, the situation which sits in Gaza and the Prime Minister of Israel is a test for mankind to learn how to teach, or how to give freely to one soul when it's in need of. The souls who create conditions like this, the souls who support creation conditions, the physicalities which support these conditions for the physical side to do and talk about, they are in need. So let's fulfill their souls, that they have no needs. Don't punish them, but give them enough that they have enough, they don't look in another pocket.
That's, excuse me, that's our excerpt for today. And we'll play the next, the second half in the next workshop here.
Hello to everyone. Here's Andreas, support member of the German-speaking community, and I will do the soul connection today. at first we detach from all our maybe negative emotions or things what we have to do the whole day over, or what we have to do tomorrow, or what was in the past. We all let it be and focus on it to share the best of us with the whole planet, with the humanity, with the animals, with the plants, and also with the universal community, where we learn to connect with them. And the best what we can give is our love, the same like we love our children and other loved ones. And we share this with all the creatures of the Creator. And our thoughts become emotion, the love what we feel. We offer everything, our friendship, our love, and we want to help everyone. Take what you need, that you can live a better life. Take what you need to understand the peace, the beauty, be lucky, and we share this love as one big family with all of us in love. now we come slowly back in our physicality and bring that love with us in our lives. Thank you.
Mehran, my dear, welcome.
Marinus, your microphone is not open, so we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Aha, okay.
I was wondering what's going on. Hello, it's Mehran's Universal Council Support, Farsi language. So there is an invitation from the Universal Council that invites the Keshe family and Universal Council family in unifying at the soul level every night at 9 p.m. CEST for the elevation of all souls and the protection of the physicality in the universe. I think it's the wrong one. Okay. Why do we give from our souls and pray and elevate others? We do it for peace, and we give also to everybody, every soul, that they take what they need so that they become to the path of peace, so that they become to the path of light and love of the Creator. Every time we give in plasma technology, we receive more. We go more into intensity. So by giving, we let others elevate and we elevate ourselves. And that's our way of helping others. We don't have to have an office or a microphone or moving around and any other means. Our means is just by giving from our souls. And if Mr. Keshe says you do that, it means that's the best way to help him and to help the world and to help his mission. And we are all part of those who want to help him in his mission. And then we can do it every time, anytime we are sitting comfortable and we have just 1 second, 10 seconds, we think to give from also to these people who make wars, who kill others for money, that they get enough and they may change to the right path. One of the things Mr. Keshe said about giving technology in the final act is that humanity is in peace and equality. He said this is the third time he said different times. Seems like it's the third time plasma technology is on Earth, different places, different times. And each time he gave the technology, trusted the technology to some category of people. And it happened that the technology was abused for the profit of some, and the whole others didn't get access. And these times, or maybe this time we don't have enough time to survive on Earth. The idea is that everybody, at least through internet, can have access to this technology. And when everybody knows the technology, nobody could use it to harm another one and use it to get more power and more killing and everything, which is fashion now. And so we all wish that it happened. He has had this idea 10 years ago. He said it, it's so actual what we just heard in the video 10 years ago about Gaza. And maybe we were not many in number to make the things go faster. So I wish from my heart that we all raise and make it happen so that we can join the community of others outside planet Earth and enjoy with the other part of the family, which until now we didn't have access. Thank you.
Next, we have an extract from the Q&A with the Universal Council with Marie. And let me play that.
So let's start the introduction, Marie.
Yes, and the introduction today is from the 364th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from January 21st, 2021. Okay, mankind should have learned a long time ago from the seeds that you eat, from the harvest you collect. You see the plant, it grows, and then it becomes a seed, and you see no life in it, but in fact it has hidden life within it. And you cultivate it for the next season, and you see the life grow again. This is how the soul of existence is. It never dies. It changes according to the position and the presence and the environment. You take a wheat, you grow it in China. It gives you the flour. It reaches maturity and it gives you another seed. Now you take the seed and grow it in the United States. It still does the same. It imitates to show its presence in respect to the conditions and the environment. This is how the soul of the man is. We are gathered as a seed of the soul, and then, in the coming time, we reach the maturity of life. We gather knowledge and strength to become the seed, and when our soul travels to new dimensions, then it grows again. But this time it grows its growth and manifestation is in respect to its present environment. This is how we will travel the spaces of the universe. The physical life, the flower, the plant, when it goes and hides within the seed, the wind will take it across the span of the universe. And where it suits and it finds balance, it will grow. Mankind should have seen this, where the seeds and the flowers of the plants let their destiny be in the hands of the winds, till we bring them to a point where they can nourish and flourish and become another flower. This is the condition of the soul of the man. We nourish the soul inside our physicality, and at the time of its maturity, let it be in the hand of the winds and sail across the universe to find its new position, to find its destiny. Why do I suffer? Because I caused the suffering to someone else. Why do I go through the joy? Because I created the joy for others to enjoy. When you suffer, understand what you have done wrong, why it became suffering. Learn from it so you don't do it again. Add it to the knowledge so it doesn't happen to future generations. You cannot steal and hope that it will not be stolen from you through the conduct of your own soul. Your soul brings you to the point of justice. If you have taken, you shall be taken from. Mankind will learn very, very fast. Mankind will learn to be the seed that when it leaves the planet and sails on the winds on the fields of the universe, it will grow in perfection. It will grow according to its point. But as you have seen, a plant releases many seeds, and not all grow. The one which have misfunctioned and not managed to gather the right strength, when they land on the land, brought in by the wind, they will never grow. They will be wasted. They become another pack of energy, which will be nothing. And the seed that has grown to perfection, when it lands on the land, it will grow and it will seed, and that be the soul of the man. Those who misconduct will go through the same phase. There will be nothing left of them. That is what we explained is going to happen to the soul of the man. How do you expect to have a beautiful flower when you have not gathered the right energy for it? Those who steal from the soul of the man will pay through the balance of the conduct of the souls, with their own life, with their own cycle of behavior. Instead of spending so much time on thinking how and what to eat, now that the technology has provided for man everything you need, think about, how do I conduct myself? How every move of me will become part of me at the point of departure, and what shall I take with me? You took and shall be taken from, unless you ask and are given. This is the law of creation. When you ask and you are given from a soul, this is a gift you are given. You have no more claim. But if you have taken, you shall be taken from, because the fields has to find balance in all directions. This way, man becomes the judge of himself and walks away from his misconduct of the past. You cannot intrude unless you are allowed to take part of. You cannot take another soul unless the soul has given his permission. This is the conduct, and this is the way mankind will live when your soul becomes a seed in the wind of the universe where all are accommodated. When you ask, "Am I allowed to be here?" this becomes your place of manifestation. You cannot just barge in and take a position. If you ask and you are given, it's your right to stay, to enjoy the presence and the time. When you ask and are given, and then intrude in what you have been given, then you have to stand your own balance of the soul. You call it balance or punishment. There is no punishment. You will be brought to the balance by your own soul. You cannot change it or try to intrude in something you have been given. And if you haven't learned, your soul will bring you to the second cycle of suffering, as you obviously have not learned. You do not touch what is not yours and is not given. If you do, you shall pay with the balance of your soul. Mankind should have spent more time in understanding the conduct by himself, to create balance and not by force. Ask one question: can I be given? And if I'm given, I have to be correct in conduct. And then it's misused when given the chance. Then you will see the consequences of it. The conduct of the leaders of the world has to be correct, collectively, for all of humanity, and not only for the areas they have been chosen to lead, which means they think collectively as world leaders and not as nation leaders. And this is why we established the one nation of the Universal Council, that there are no borders, their souls serve the totality of their souls, of their mother language. Now you understand how deep the work of the foundation is set, to parallel and be in line with the work of the universal community, so man is ready to join the universal community. In so many ways, mankind will become one kind, and in that process become one nation, and take to the span of the universe as one race, and become part of the one universe and the establishment of the great peace. My call goes upon the Universal Council and the Earth Council to work in one direction, to start establishing one government, one nation, that you run through the soul of the world leaders. We have cleverly delivered our mission, and we will celebrate that with the beginning of a new life on the 21st of March, with no claim and no change. The change will come through the soul of the man and the new cycle of life, and we will complete the process for mankind to enter the universal community, to feel their presence and become part of them. Mankind has to become mature to stand responsible for its own conduct, and understand from now on that we are facilitating a comfortable life for man to become responsible for the conduct of his physicality and his soul to become one. And in this process, man needs to mature. Mankind needs to grow into the second cycle, and that means elevation of the soul, spreading the love of the Creator amongst the creatures of the universe, not belonging to one nation, not belonging to one planet, but belonging to one universe. To work and strive to achieve peace, first for the soul and then for the soul of humanity, on this planet, in the universe. Mankind will soon face his Creator, and in that process, creation will become easy for him to understand. My wish is that all knowledge seekers and those who listen and hear the voice of the Creator will come together to bring peace to humanity. And in so many ways, my wish is my command. As a Creator, I wish that man will reach maturity and peace and elevation of his soul. So that was the introduction for today.
Next, we have an excerpt from the 549th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of last Thursday. And just let me get that set up here. Okay, I'll play that now. Okay, from Ping Peter in YouTube, who asks, how long of an adjustment period does Mr. Keshe foresee when it comes to one nation structure? And has this happened on other planets and universe in the past?
The one nation structure doesn't have a time frame. In a way, is technology development delivery frame. Can we, in the coming weeks, show the weight reduction, and at the same time, can we show the transmutation in the next 6 months of masses? Then the system will fall in automatically. It can take a few hours, it can take a few months, but the only thing which is holding it back in how we will release, you got to understand, the minute we put on the YouTube as a whole, our website will be brought down immediately. That's for sure. I have even, as recent the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, received a direct live threat from two of the leading nations on this planet from their securities. If I follow certain path of the delivery of technology, as they see their position threatened. I received a direct threat, which we take it seriously, but there's not much can be done. And you got to understand, some people like to keep the status quo. And this is why we chose the way to release technology on a YouTube and then on the X, which used to be the old whatever, that large number of people become aware of very fast, that runs out of the hand of the governments. But at the same time, we have to be able to show the technology in a very, very different way. We have started collaboration with some of the world leading companies in trying for them to assess our technology, and that collaboration internationally can be set up for certain parts of the Keshe Foundation work. And this is this pattern of the work we do. But it depends how fast, once we release the technology, the presentation of it, you as knowledge seekers can spread it across the internet. This will be the crucial point. When we show the weight reduction, when we show the lift and motion, how fast you as knowledge seekers will go to what you call spread it, that it cannot be stopped. If hundreds of thousands of people gradually surf it out right across and brings in the what we call the understanding very fast, and then it will be, with this technology, if we get it out the right way, transportation or transmutation, which I made every effort to make sure it happens the right way. If it goes the right way, you have 24 hours before we see mayhem. If it goes the wrong way, they try to wipe it out, that it cannot be seen anywhere. If you, as knowledge seekers, systematically post it out that cannot be blocked on the internet, and people start making the units like they did the maglabs, then there is no way no government can stop. And then we'll come to the point when you have thousands of people from Africa in the tin pots, in Washington, in London, and everywhere else. Even with the policy of today, where Germany wants the Muslims out and British are talking Africans to go back, we see in America, they ask the Chinese to leave, which is ridiculous. They've been there before some of the Americans who are there now. And all this will come to a abrupt end, where masses will turn against their own condition back to the others. As I always said, my technology will not be accepted due to its pleasure, but through the fear of the demise of it, of oneself. We've seen in America a group of hungry people gather outside supermarkets and suddenly raid the supermarket, and they run out with whatever they can. This is the reality of what will happen once we release this technology. But it won't be supermarkets, it will be nations. We have abused each other so much that those who are abused will not go what they went with their cousins and brothers and fathers getting lost on the oceans, or becoming worse off than to come to another part of the world, but they go for what they think is the right to get. This is my biggest fear, how much governments will control the spread of equality of the comforts, not the wealth. The biggest people who lose will be billionaires and millionaires, as they will see their assets will be shared among those who don't have. haven't had. And then the structure of how we can support feeding these people, how we support sheltering these people, how we support their medical need, how we support the energy needs. We saw men immigrating in thousands in every ship, every boat, everything possible to America when America was founded for the new pastures. Once we release this technology, it'll be 100 times worse. Hundreds of times worse. And with it, there will be no destruction, but there'll be a lot of releasing frustrations of the past time. And this is dangerous. I could have released this technology decades ago. There's nothing has changed compared to what we do over the 15, 18 years ago in Iran or before that. And this is the biggest problem of releasing technology. I believe March, April of next year, it'll be about just the right time to release this technology. That's why we chose Washington. I don't need a visa to go to America, as I can transmute. I'm there when I want, and I'm not there when I don't want. The same with Moscow, the same with other countries. It's not playing magic, it's using the technology and the science. And when would it be applied? You got to realize the minute we release the structure, it will be so simple that every single one of you will be able to repeat it. The same you made a cup of life. And then you have to make a decision. We created the cup of life to get rid of the virus, of what man was afraid of. We released these plasma systems for transposition and transmutation. Then you can understand how man will try to get rid of the disease of hunger and everything else. You got to realize many people might want to come to America or Europe, but they will not stay. But when they go back, they want to be equal. And there's a lot needs to be done. The only thing is once we show it, as we start, you will see when the tube start running the YouTube from hopefully today, tomorrow. You'll understand that it's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. How and who will start building, how fast they build their systems, how fast they transmute, how fast they transfer, and will it be useful? And this is part of the problem which we have, and we've taken a long time to bring it out and to show it and to understand it. So there's a simple example of this, if you understand. If you remember about 2 years ago, we did a presentation, blueprint, in a deep of the coldest time of winter. In the Sensano, we showed the fire, we showed the production of electricity and power. But what happened to it? Why don't we release it? We have this technology in a very, very advanced way. But if we do it, we'll create a new mayhem.
And after the mayhem settles, what's next? And create another mayhem with the release of the, what we call space travel, transmutation and transportation. And why we don't do it? Because foremost, our people were not ready to understand it, to be able to replicate it. Secondly, mankind is not ready for such a huge change. Maybe in 12 months' time, mankind will be ready when everything is released in small steps and in a gradual dosage. The world leaders have to understand the change before people force the change. Absolutely. And the people are becoming more and more outspoken and more open about it. We saw it in Bangladesh, we've seen it in other countries. More people are creating changes of revolution and changes of government and pushing government to the wall than when it used to be in 1990s and 80s by military revolution and coup d'etats and the rest of it. We have to create a mass movement with one nation, that the movement of freedom brings our position. It could happen with a flick of the finger.
Okay, that's our excerpt for today of the last Knowledge Seekers workshop.
Thank you, Rick. I would like to add a few words here. And for me, the first thing is that there will happen a lot of things what we all don't know. And it could cause maybe fear or nervosity. And I would like to remember on the soul connection, and that we are all the time with each other connected, and we all go more or less through the same. And as we know, in the soul connection is the unconditional love important, and the detachment from negative emotions in order to give more. But at the same time, as we are elevating all other souls, we are elevating us too from all blockages. And does not depend what will happen. Mr. Keshe mentioned also maybe they will bring the Keshe Foundation website down or all the YouTube channels, and suddenly we are in physicality kind of alone. But we are not alone. We are connected. That's what we are training since years. And if you have the feeling it's too much for you, then just connect with all of us. And all of us are here to give and to receive if it's needed. We are a family who goes together through that process. And then we don't know how the YouTube channel or the X channel will look like exactly. We know a little bit, Mr. Keshe told us from it, but now we don't have an idea how it really will be and look like. And we thought about what are now important things for the beginning. And one thing would be, if really everything is shut down, that we have the knowledge which is online on our hard disks. So everyone is invited to download the YouTube, the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute YouTube channel. There is all the public knowledge on it. And still, if there is nothing anymore, we can, if we have it on our hard disk, listen it to ourselves, learn, continue learning, understanding more. And it's about 3 or 4 terabytes. And I believe a lot of listeners have the opportunity to handle that, or also to buy a hard disk. And that would be one opportunity where you help all of us, just that we have the knowledge everywhere around the globe, and it's not away. And then a second thing is, when the YouTube channels are released, or the Twitter channel, then it would be good to download all as fast as possible, because Mr. Keshe said in 24 hours it could be that the channel is closed, and so we have it then again on the whole globe on our hard disks. And then Mr. Keshe asked us, and he said it's important that we spread the knowledge fast. I don't know all opportunities, but there are different video sharing platforms, not only YouTube. I don't know, from Vimeo over a lot of others. You can Google for it. Maybe you have already accounts, or you make new accounts, and then you can share there the released videos from the channel. And there are more than closing, nobody can do. Then maybe you have website where you already inform about the plasma technology. You can also put this new project on it. You can share it in social media platforms and everywhere where you think or feel it makes sense to share it, where you have people, what you reach. And again, we don't know how that will look like. It sounds a little bit stressy. Yeah, as soon the channels are online, we have maybe only 24 hours. Don't stress yourself. Important is downloading. That's what is possible to download. And then slowly, or how fast you can, you then share it on the platforms. And we are in contact with each other, can then help each other, but just don't stress yourself too much for it. That's what came to my mind now. Maybe somebody else has something to say to it, or maybe somebody has questions, then feel free to ask, please. Okay.
Andreas, it's Dean here. I can ask you a question.
Please, Dean.
So, Andreas, thank you for that valuable information. So, Mr. Keshe spoke about a soul passport. And so there's going to come a position, time and place very soon, very, very soon, where there's no way to stop the release of the technology. And so we will, as you've spoken about, the knowledge seekers will protect and download the informations that are available and put them on very many different hard drives. But remember, the hard drive of the soul of man, is present in this moment. It's time for this knowledge to be released. And Mr. Keshe, the best time, and he feels that it's about right, we heard it a little bit earlier on, was in the moments to follow. What was it, March, April of next year? So the governments have known about this technology for a very, very, very long time. And they've, for want of a better way of saying it, abused it. They've just pushed it aside and said, no, it's not for us. This is for humanity. Each and every one of us is to receive the beauty of the universal condition. We are all within the sphere of a planet Earth, and we're all present together. We all breathe in and out the same air. So this information of a soul passport is already transmuted, is already taken position. The souls know, they've always known. There's no way to stop it. You can play the games in physicality for as long as you wish. The soul is of the higher order. So this now comes into play, and the soul passport is present. And for many of us, many knowledge seekers, we welcome the change because we know it's going to bring a wonderful time and condition for all the people to have equal amounts of whatever they need in the physicality. And then on a soul level, they have the ability to transcend time, transcend themselves, to be part of the bigger picture, the knowledge of the universe. And this is, there are many beings and many souls present that are here to guide us and help us through this transitional period. And thank you, Andreas, for all you do and all the knowledge seekers, because I know that there's many here that are Universal Council members. They give their very soul, they give from their soul to the souls that are present listening, to the soul of the world leaders, to the soul of the very souls that seem to want to take much. If I may, there's a story I'd like to quickly tell, where I was present with a couple of children once, and one was about 6 or 7, and one was maybe 3 or 4, and they were brothers. And this the smaller brother had this small packet. Well, yeah, for him it's probably a large packet of crisps. Crisps being potato chips, in a packet, and he opened them, and his older brother, his hand dived into the packet straight away, and he took a big bunch of the crisps and then chomped on them, yum, 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 and a big smile on his face, and the little boy laughed. The little brother laughed. And then the older brother did it again. And I was sat there and I was watching this, and I said to him, have another one. Have some more. Have another one. So he took another one, another handful. I said, again, have another one. And the little boy was looking, and it was his brother, and you could see the love between them, really. There was deep love. But the older boy kept taking. Then the young boy looked him in the eye, and I could see the essence of the love and the connection. And then I said to the older boy, have another one. And he went to take it, and he said, no, thank you. He'd received all he could take. And that young child received a beautiful, valuable lesson that he could then share for the rest of his life. He understood that you take what you need and no more. And we've spoken about this earlier on. There was some wonderful teachings from Marie and others speaking Mr. Keshe's words about this very thing. And this can be from a child to a nation and beyond. And we know that many within these nations have started to take too much. They receive too much. And it's time for them to mature into the knowledge of the universe, where we all give and we all receive. There's no need to keep taking and taking. We bring balance and beauty to each and every soul that is present in these moments. So, Andreas, sorry, I was supposed to have asked you a question, but I've answered my own question. So thank you. Thank you, Andreas. Thank you, UC.
That was a beautiful answer. Thank you very much, Dean.
Thank you, Andreas.
Yeah, and I have to add also something. because Mr. Keshe said, yeah, last Thursday, maybe today or tomorrow, the website, the YouTube channel will be online, or the X channel. And then nothing happened a few days till today. And then I thought myself, is Mr. Keshe speaking about a physical website? And I realized, because I was waiting when it's coming online, nervous, and then I realized that it will be a physical channel or channels, but also it's a website from all of us, from our souls, and all what we give for the totality, for a much beautifuler future. And every day, time when we have a soul connection, or when we add to it, when we share our love, we add to this website. Thank you. I believe you can go to the next page, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Rick. And thank you. Thank you. This is the reading from extract from 549 Knowledge Seeker Workshop. And thank you. The technology comes out of the Keshe Foundation as and the way that we need to establish the one nation policy. This is important as tomorrow is the birthday of the Universal Council. Some years ago, when today the team of the Keshe Foundation was working on establishing the principle of the Universal Council and its mandate to be celebrated the 2nd of August, we were with some knowledge seekers in the beautiful island of Sanya, and that night, as we said, we before witnessed UFOs, massive large structures above the building, above where we were. And the biggest problem for us today, as we open the new channel, maybe tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow, and start uploading the same as what we did with the 129 Tesla test. And how do we run this structure? The heading or the first page, when you open the new YouTube channel, reads very simple. It says the new space era and energy for peace. Energy for peace, energy of plasma. When man discovered atomic and nuclear science, with it came the wars, destruction, and threat of annihilation of humanity. Now that we go into the structure of the neutron, proton, and electron, we discovered the energy of peace, prosperity, and freedom of man from the earth, resources, and even allowing humans to travel into the depths of the universe using the magnetic field and their interaction, which leads to creation of neutron, proton, and electron themselves. So with this new addition to the knowledge of human, the energy for peace has been gifted to humanity, and peace energy become the source of prosperity of mankind. And the function and the freedom from all these shackles to the planet. In achieving this, and now that we are testing and independently from any government, launching the transportation and transmutation system, and as I said, with 129, you were witness to it. You will be witness to failures and successes, and everything which will happen on a live testing. As we load frequently, short videos or informations about the test. But this brings one of the biggest problems for all of us. System and I and with 1 to 2 for all of testing for all of us. But this brings one of the biggest problems to all of us. And as of today, we announced the establishment of one nation and establish and precinct, as we did with a bit with one with a bit with our and then the structure of the Universal Council, we start structuring what we call passports, or in a way documents in that on you arriving in a hotel, in a village, in the United States or in China, Europe considers the immigrant who escaped in or escaped out or entered illegally. Transmuting becomes part of the structure and very much. Thank you.
We have established this new system. We have established a new technology. So we have to create a condition that those who use our technology travel with a document, not necessarily in a paper form, but in acceptable form in a plasma data technology that the governments accept, which brings respect to the knowledge and technology, which means when we land you in Washington, maybe 100, 1,000 of you from every corner of this planet, American government cannot tell us how did you enter, why you entered, and the way you entered. So the Keshe Foundation in the coming weeks is working on the structure of it, that we created a database for all the citizens of this planet, which we hope the international structure of the governing body of the Keshe Foundation as a universal council, and then the Earth Council in the coming time, in conjunction, most probably United Nations and all the nations will accept this data of information, which means every citizen on this planet has the freedom to travel, and we accept the coexistence of the nations. The borderlines will disappear as we have no say how to control. Thank you, Rick. In the coming time, we'll advise the governments in how to finance their structure that does not need taxation the way we see today. It's done on other planets. It's done on other corners of this universe, and it works. Why shouldn't it work on this planet? Which means in the coming weeks and months, we start creating a plasmatic data transfer information, which means no one can break into your data. It is kept by you and only you in the dynamic system of the plasma of the what you call structure between the emotion, the soul of the man, and the soul of physicality. The strength field which connect you back to Earth, it is the most important part of this identification, which means if you go on Mars, you can always come back. This is the source where you want to come to. If you go to another part of the universe, this is the source you come to. When you go to Washington, you want to go to London, it's the source where you go back to. But at the same time, we have a data control in the information dynamic structure that every citizen of this planet has identity according to the strength field of the soul. There is no paper to burn. It's no one to hide. It's the fingerprint of the soul of the man. And this needs the development of new computer type memory structure, which is already in hand. Many of you have used it, but you have no knowledge of it. You've made different parts of the Keshe Foundation technology at home, in the garage, in the kitchen, or whatever. You have already known this data information package. Thank you.
The body of the man in data connection and collection has a common denominator which connects all living things on this planet. And through that, the variation identifies every individual by his own. Being an ant, being a bird, being a man, being whatever you are, and allows totality to have access without abuse. What does this mean? This means in the coming months, those of you, for example, who come to Washington through transmutation or transfer, you don't need to carry a passport. There is no need for visa. We are carrying the ID, so confirmed and held by Keshe Foundation is your ticket for freedom, which means the government has no resource to stop no one from transmutation. It's an impossibility. So a new solution has needed to be found by the government, not by us, to accept a new structure of identification, who we are, what we are, where we belong to. Why are so many people in Washington with no visa? But present ordinary people, I cannot put them in prison. They cannot imprison any of the knowledge seekers who will go through this path. Because the way we brought you, you disappear from the prison cells. Handcuffs will drop on the floor because the physicality will not be there. Then you understand why and how we are taking time for everything to fall in place that is ready for it to go. If you are knowledgeable about the structure of the political structure of the what you call this planet, there is a very similar pattern with all of them. They all run their presidency every 4 years, and somehow it's 2024, 28, and the rest of it, elections around between the 2 years in between. That the world leaders can interact with each other and have a same-term connections. Many nations around this planet have sequentially set their presidential elections and prime minister elections to fall near enough to the double-digit 2022, 24, 26, 28, that they can establish a long-term relationship with the American presidency. And we will use this structure. Thank you.
Which means we bring everything into coordination with the governments. In this time of the presidency that allows all the new presidents to bring the new acceptance of the new technology, new transportation, and everything else together. I will explain more and more in the coming weeks and months how this new passport works, how will become the point of peace. You cannot travel if you carry arms. You cannot travel if you have set to harm anyone. You will not travel if your aim in your soul of physicality, and in your mind and emotion is to create problem. One of the biggest crime would be someone who tries to break this code, because the crime is for themselves. They bring separation between the soul and the soul of physicality, This is how strong it'll be. So in the coming time, those of you who travel with Transmutation or the new flight system, now in the hand of the people, which will be brought out gradually, will be shown in Iran, will bring the need and make it necessary for governments to restructure, abolishment of borders, abolishing the passport control, abolishing the wealth control. In a way, everybody makes wealth and it's right across everyone's use. You already know this structure. The pension policy is the basic of this thing. The national health policies are part of this structure. The what we call unemployment benefits in some nations is part of the same policy, but now become globally acceptable. It has to be. And the new what we call passports or ID presentation, kept by a data that we all accept, will abolish all the things which man has made in past centuries to control wealth. And who's wealthier? Which nation is bigger and which nation is smaller, and the rest of it. Africa is bigger than the whole of Europe and part of Asia put together. But we've been created that image. But we've been created that image. We bring that equality in. We bring that equality of human, irrespective of place, land, and position. As when we go on Mars, we are not from London or New York. We are from Earth. When we go to another position, we are from that star. Nobody cares where that, because they don't know. They are not aware of the nationalism sectioning part of land. We start learning the process of life in space, collectiveness of a race, collectiveness of the soul of the planet, collectiveness of the soul of the structure of the galaxy, and the rest of it. So in the coming months and weeks, we have to introduce, for those of you who we transmute to Washington, an identity. We ask none of you to carry a visa. Doesn't matter which nation we take you in from. American government has no control over how people enter. As long as we identify you are with us, you are part of the Keshe Foundation structure and the new evolution in travel, nobody will be immigrant to be deported, and no nation will have other values over the others, that we block you not to use our facilities. Mankind's structure in the coming years will work to undo what they've done for past decades and centuries, to get kingships, to make which nation is more powerful, which nation is more wealthy, to which is one nation. How can us collectively do? Because I can transmute from Africa into Europe, and you have no control over it. It's instantaneous. I don't need your nation to feed me. I come with a system which feeds me. I don't need to be a burden on your society to give me a job, because I can work anywhere in the universe. These are not dreams anymore. These are the reality and the facts which will start hitting you very fast. We start working on creation of what I call field, soul, strength, pattern of the creation, which means we know who you are, where you are from, what is the pattern of your thinking, and in a way, you work with the same ethos of the Keshe Foundation. In that process, we'll bring you new dimensions of work into it. Hopefully our team will start loading up the first parts of the YouTube connection, and you will see what we mean. There is nothing but teaching on this channel, nothing but extending the knowledge to totality of humanity, and with it to bring the first steps towards the first presentation by Keshe Foundation, and not with the support of a nation. The space technology, lift, motion, creation of the soul of the system, which interacts with the soul of every being that can allows transmutation at any time, at any point. In a way, this is a gift to the Universal Council, that they start understanding and setting up the structure of the establishment of one government nation, which they in coming time are responsible in conjunction with the Earth Council to bring it about. The technology has developed through the technology has spread enough that allows such a release of knowledge, technology across this planet. Spoke in depth about carbon 14, C14, carbon 60, carbon 12. What is this connection to the man cell? What is connection to the man universe? And what is the creator of the universe of the man? And in that position and with this knowledge, who needs a passport? Who needs to be deported? Who needs to be an immigrant? And would these words exist in the vocabulary of man in the next 5 to 10 years? Would man get on the boat for a better life in Europe or America, where they can transmute with no danger to every point of this planet? We start the teaching, we start the releasing the information. Step 1 to be the presentation in Iran, to build up the trust, understanding. Then into Washington, then into Moscow, and then next, and then next. Then gradually over the next 2 to 5 years, we bring the whole governments around this planet to understand there is one governing board, and that's the Universal Council and the universal system of work. Nations, leaders of nations become servant to peace and not to the lie to create wars. Thank you.
We will practice to disarm armies by their own practice. If you want to understand what this means, read the very first paper we released, The Creation of Black Hole. If we can make a black hole to absorb every energy of the universe into it, we can create a black hole which, in a way, takes every weapon into it. The fuel they carry, be it nuclear, be it the gunpowder, and every other thing which falls in this bracket. You have to understand, I have set the structure for one nation. It's you, as knowledge seekers, which will test it, and it will be the world which will follow it. The creation of one nation, one soul port, which replaces the passport, will be the key to creation of peace, liberation of the man from every shackles of this planet, and bringing equality amongst man. When man accepts his equal to other man, man will accept his equal to every other creature. And when we take man to space, there is no superiority, but equality. When a man sees the color of the man to be superior, when a man sees the belief in the path of God is superior to the other one, when the man sees the superiority comes in wealth, that man better not exist, because this is not the way man was created to be. The principle with what we said and what we will do is the establishment of the one nation passport, one nation food, one nation understanding, and comfort for every existing living things on this planet. And we enforce it because we have the knowledge, we have the technology, we have the know-how, and we have the systems which will deliver it. The gun policy becomes a peace policy. The gun policy becomes a plasma policy. Gun policy becomes world peace policy, where superiority by gun does not make a nation powerful, but makes a nation shameful. You'll understand what this means in the coming time. So today, as is the celebration of the establishment of the Universal Council tomorrow, we set out, we announce the establishment of one nation passport. One nation passport, where your soul carries your fingerprint. This is why, in past couple of weeks, I was explaining the difference between the fingerprint of the man and the fingerprint of the emotion and the soul of the man. In a coming time, in a very short time, by creating condition of transportation in masses, creation of systems which can transmute in masses, will automatically end to nationalism, end to the racism, end to the hunger of the man, end to poverty, in the essence that everybody has what they need at the time they need. Thank you. Ernaz, please.
Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Azar, no? Is it Azar?
No.
It's Azar is done, so it's Mark is done. They're not. No.
Thank you.
Okay. When we released materials, when we released technology, everybody told us step by step, why don't you release all of it? Because mankind was not ready. But mankind needs to understand that it can be ready. It can make itself ready for the changes to come and to what it needs to be done and what it needs to create a condition of equality through understanding of the production and creation of plasma as what I call energy for peace. And understanding this process, changing this condition is not for us, but is for humanity to understand what is to come, what it will bring, that change, what needs to be done, what happens anywhere around the world, who gets elected, who loses, where is the war, where is the peace, whatever happens to one government or one president will be totally irrelevant. We govern as one nation, and we set the structure for this in the coming weeks. And we have set the structure for it in the past years. Transmutation has no physical dimension, and no one in the world has made prison for a soul of the man to imprison it. Even the God, the creator, doesn't have such a facility. And someone told me, if you can transmute souls, you are a sinner. You are anti-Christ, because they know they cannot control us anymore. The fear of God is in them, in how now they have to answer to the creator, which is their own soul. Now you understand the game changer. Today we announced the establishment of one nation governing policy by you and not by anybody else, and run by the total collective soul of the man in what the mankind is ready to accept and to be equal, not by color or race, not by religion, not by creed, and not by which planet, which part of the universe you come from, as we are all welcome to be a part of the Creator's collection of created things. The present communication has been one of the key instruments which was given to man that covers everyone. Talking about the radio, television, the mobile phones, the satellite, and the future system of communication. Now we have brought the soul communication, which means once man understands that the connection, then he can connect to his soul. And as I said, this is 1,000 years, 6,000 years. In the 6,000 years of rotating around the sun is not in fraction of our solar system, rotating in his galaxy, and our galaxy rotating around the universe central point. It's a speck of dust. The future of mankind to reach that point is well set in advance. Doesn't matter who is there, who is not there. It's just change of actors, change of people, because it's set to change. It's set to bring the change, and there is a reason for that change. It is that magnet on the table with a lot of magnets, which its movement, its completion will put the rest of the magnets in new order. Thank you.
So, Rick, you've put up the transmutation test slide, so I will read from this. So we have in 2024 the transmutation test, and it's book your virtual seat for your soul. It's 2-hour sessions with small groups of organized by geographical positioning of the participants. According to the number of participants, it can be done in 1 Friday per month or extended to 2 Fridays per month. Participants will be informed by email of their time allocation. Please make sure to mention the comment section of the order, the time zones that you will be participating from. Book now, and you can see the website address there for the transmutation test. It's every 3rd Friday of the month from July 2024 to October 2024. And you can see there's a price there for 600 euros per session. I think now, because the first session has gone past, that unless you've booked the block of 4, the price is now 600 euros per flight. And I suppose in the time to come, this will be relevant for all the people of planet Earth, not just a few that have come to this this particular moment to understand the transmutation and to understand the connection with their soul. This will be for each man. And when we say man, in the foundation, we always say, Mr. Keshe, we always say man, the soul of man. Each woman and child, each soul present has the beauty of the gift of the knowledge within them. And these tests are here to help us to go through this transitional period, to be able to go from point A to point B, and become part of a bigger structure, so that everything we've been speaking about earlier on means that there cannot be a border. Does a bird know anything of a border? It's impossibility. When it's flying, it doesn't take any notice of a border. So when we set the bird free of the soul of man, there are no borders. There's no way to contain the structure. The structure's released. The energy pack of the soul is free to go in, not just the dimension of point A to point B on planet Earth. It's point A to point B to creation. So this is when we start to realize that the elevation of the solar man will lead to a position where there will be many souls that will decide to go out into the universe and enjoy the fruits and the beauty of the universe. And many will not come back. So the government's going to have a new position. They're going to have many less people to do the work, many less souls in the times to come. This knowledge, this beauty is a gift for each and every one to receive as they need in the moment. And this transmutation test, if you have the ability to join and be part of it, please do. The money will go to help humanity. It runs the foundation, it runs certain aspects of the technology that are needed on a physical form. But it's the soul of the intention that you give that the others receive. And I've said this many times, that when you give from your soul, the other souls receive that energy, and then they will feed back to you the energy that you require. It's a two-way energy transfer. And you receive what you need in the moment. And this is what this technology is all about. It means that not a few gather all the wealth in the physical form, when in fact the wealth in the soul is for each and every single one, every single soul. And I never understand this part of it, where some need to take much more than others. Because when you look in the eye of the others, when you actually look into the soul, when you sense the soul of the other, this technology touches the soul, and it makes you understand that you don't need to take unless it's freely given to you. If it's offered to you, it's put in place, and you can ask. And if you receive, it's for you, and there's no problem with it. But you don't just take. You give unconditionally, and then with that love and care, with that point of intention, then the others will give to you more and more, to the point, like the child I spoke about earlier, where they will give you so much that you'll get to the point you say, thank you so much, that's enough, I don't need any more. And then that emotion, that beauty surrounds you, becomes part of you. Then you don't have this war. You don't have the need to create in the wrong way, from the wrong seed. And that seed for humanity, and as Mehran was speaking about, it's a bigger totality now. And the time, place, and position is now. The rotation, the plasma, the condition is here. The seed, the magnet, Mr. Keshe, has been present and positioned each and every single one of us. And on a soul level, he sees the soul, not the physicality. So look yourself in the soul and understand the beauty that is within you. If you can be present to take the test, be part of it, to travel wherever you need to be, and to experience all the dimensions that you need, or it's not so much of a need, you sense and feel as a soul to be part of, then please join us, join yourself, join the totality, and be part of the bigger structure on this planet and in the universe. Thank you, Rick. I think we can do the next slide now. Thank you, Rick.
I'm wondering when you'd like to play the birthday for the Universal Council video.
You want to play that now? If the Universal Council is ready, please play.
Stefania, you're breaking
Stefania,
up.
you're a
Stefania.
Dalek at the moment.
Say again.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. Did you? Because my line went off.
Yeah, you don't have a very good
Exactly.
connection.
My line is not well. My line is not good. So not the problem. I'm not going to speak. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, should I play the video now then, or?
Rick, please do. I think now would
Okay.
be a great time. Thank you.
Okay, I'll play that now. Okay, that's our
Thank you, Rick.
video for the Universal Council.
Yeah, thank you, Rick, for playing that. Thank you to the Italian knowledge seeker that's produced the video, and to all the Italian people that are present as knowledge seekers and have been present for a very long time. Thank you for the beauty that you have and for sharing your soul with us. And we are very grateful for the presence of all the knowledge seekers all around the world, each and every single one of you. None of us are higher, none of us are lower. Some of us speak a lot, some of us don't. But the soul of man, the soul of you, shines very brightly, and we see it always. Thank you for your presence. With love and care. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Mosfik again, representing Universal as a Universal Council support member for Bengali community. So, as we have heard, one nation and one planet is upon us. So today, let's focus a little bit on the collective soul of one nation and one planet, one nation, one planet, and one race. It's a new structure, a new body, if we may call it that, of collective souls of everyone on this planet, man, bugs, birds, and fishes and plants and everything, trees. We're all here in one way or another to participate in this new structure. Some of us will initiate things in our own way. Some of us will be passive for a while, and then the time comes, they will participate in their own way. Some of the people we may identify as not well behaved, for lack of better words, they have their place in this transformation. That's why we elevate these souls. They too participate. They participate to create an environment for the rest of us to operate more effectively, efficiently, to become aware of our fields. As is the way of, has been the way of this planet. Sometimes we get too accustomed to our old ways. And there have been many old ways that have been put forward, such that we forget how we can transfer and receive energy with others at a level well beyond our imagination. I'll give a small example. There's a fruit tree on our rooftop, and it was having difficulty growing. The leaves were kind of falling away, and then there was the fruits were not, there were like a few fruits, and it's a sour fruit, but it's popular here, and they were not growing. So and we have used GANs on these, some of the things we have on the rooftop. So in this case, I said, okay, well, I have used GAN, but I can communicate with this tree directly to the tree's soul. And it was an exercise for me because I am not a plant or person. I'm not a gardening type of person. So anyway, I did communicate, and I kept the communication alive for. I periodically did it for like a couple of weeks or so, and it wasn't immediate, but it recovered. What did I receive from it? The joy of doing it. Joy of seeing somebody flourish from my little effort. Do we need anything more? My need is not that much. As a human on this planet, how much can I do? How much energy do I need? Very little. Can we be humble enough to recognize that? I'm far from being humble, but it's a lesson for me, nevertheless, that it can be done. Shall we try it? There are plenty of trees around us, where we live. Sometimes they are in difficulty. Do we recognize these kind of things? Do we pay attention to the little bug having stuck in some place? The opportunities are there. So this is change of physicality from the soul level. And one of the things that I have been doing is the elevation of some of the people around where I live. And then, you know, it is creating effect. Am I doing it by myself? Impossible. There are many people. Many people want it. It's not just, as Mr. Keshe pointed out, you know, it's not just the individual or the cells or people involved in this process. Other stronger fields are in operation. We can sense it. People are talking all over the place, becoming awake, or other terms such as those. But in order to really appreciate what it is, we have to engage ourselves. And as we have heard, it's time to engage. And the time is always now. So the people, in whatever shape or form, be it a tree or be it a bug or whatever, we can elevate them. We can even elevate the planet. We can interact with the planet, provide the necessary energy. Imagine the sphere of these planets, and the soul of the planet is in the middle, and it can project any field and anywhere, and we can set the corresponding field on the surface wherever we want, and the planet will assist. And this is what I have been doing, actually. So, I mean, I can talk about it. I said, okay, I live in this area. This needs some energy. And I asked the planet, would you participate? I'm doing it. Would you? So this is one of the things I did, and I've been doing it for a while. So this is one of the tests I've been doing, and, you know, and can it be done elsewhere? Sure, surely. Now, is there a difference between planet Earth and the tree I was talking about earlier? Another soul. But when we are open to receiving or open to the willingness of assisting other souls, they're everywhere. It's not I mean, our planet is in a situation where it needs a degree of additional fields to correct it. There has been, I actually did made a good, I asked Mr. Keshe a question quite some time back about the universal level, where there is this slight anomaly that has crept in, and which is affecting the whole universe that we live in. It's not just the planet. And one nation, one planet, one race entity is part of that correction factor that is not necessarily restricted to this planet. And there are things happening outside of the, what do you call it, our planetary sphere boundary right now. And if you want to test it, just try to communicate with the beings that are around us right now. You will be surprised how many there are. And it's all centered around what's happening on this planet. So I would encourage everybody to do it, and it's fun because, you know, these are things one does when the internet is not there, as you may have heard. You know, it was disconnected for 6 days here, but so there is plenty to discover. So in any case, so, you know, we think that the situation on the planet is in isolation. It has an environment. There are other beings outside the planet. Are there interactions? Surely there is. Between the beings and this planet. So it's for us to discover as we are preparing to venture into space. And things are moving rather fast, I would say. And so there has been some local changes as a result of collective activities of, let's say, Keshe Foundation, people outside even the Keshe Foundation group and the local members of the Keshe Foundation activities. And it's very tangible. And Mr. Keshe said next March is the time to release it. Our task from now to that point is to prepare the ground for the reception of this technology. What can we do? At the soul level, yes. But what can we transmute? Our soul energy can be transmuted to anything and everything. Yes, we don't have, I don't have the confidence to do some of these things, but it's gathering speed, let's say. I mean, it is fun to watch as it gathers field and steam. I mean, calling it steam, actually it's fields. And, you know, the snowball effect everybody knows about, you know, is very tangible. Is it my doing? Not really. All the, you know, people around me in Keshe Foundation and elsewhere. And people who never knew me, I'm sure, are contributing to it. Collectively, just like, you know, the entity we call One Nation, One Planet, One Race is contributing to it too. It's a recognition or gratitude that I am here to serve. And there are others that are doing the same. And this is the direction we are heading. And let's change this planet with all the souls in it. And beyond. Let's correct an anomaly that has crept into this little place of ours. Call it planet, galaxy, whatever, or even within ourselves. So the transmutation is not just an individual manifestation. There are collective manifestations that can happen as well. And I'll give an example of the local environment when I'm done with this transmutation part with in the community section. But what I'm talking about today is that this collective effort is tangibly changing the planet or the people's conduct, people's attitude. And do we need to know a lot for this? Many people where I live are illiterate, but they're doing quite well. And many literate people I know of here and elsewhere are not that clued in compared to some of these guys. So the literacy, in a sense, at the soul level is different. And I've talked about, someone, and give an example of a person who lived in a village in Bangladesh and composed beautiful songs, and still, it's very popular. So there are, and we, this is happening in a sort of like a mass scale, which is something to behold. And in a sense, some of our programming or preconceived notion that has been pumped into us, and often difficult to surmount because we have been so-called, in quote, educated or brainwashed, however you put it. But see, these illiterate people are doing it. We can do it too, I hope. So it's something to, be humbled by. And it's really interesting when we respect souls as souls, not as bank accounts. This is the change. And change is here. Let's be part of the story and not watch it from the sideline. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moshe. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, the beauty you have said. Let's change the planet in this one way. No boundaries anymore. No separate flags anymore. And yes, this is the time that we have to understand our own ability. And the situation, the world situation, what is going on is sometimes you just go in this deep, many lives are, many bodies are leaving, many souls are leaving, but they are with us. And what is happening in Gaza, what is happening in what has happened and happening in Bangladesh, we elevate all the souls and the souls of the leaders, Sheikh Hasina, Netanyahu, Dalai Lama, the King of Jordan, American President. What can I say? They should. I elevate their souls. And whatever the need, as Mosik has said, the fruit plant needed the love. Fruit plant needed that little thing, little bit, and it grows. So, well, I will say that in this chaotic situation, I will say whatever is coming on surface, as we are elevating continuously, and will be always forever, unless there should be no existence of foul play, dirt, or negative things, I will say. And I also elevate, especially the soul of our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, that whatever has happened in Bangladesh shouldn't had to, those lives gone. We cannot forget that, but still we have to go on. And this global thing that is going on, and the involvement of trained forces from India in these mayhem is very sad. And I elevate all those souls. They should know they are not doing good for anybody. And so I will say that I elevate their souls and will be elevating always. And I also bow to the soul those who have like standing in front of these guns, like peaceful men. So I will say that this is the time to understand our ability, our what is to be elevated in a way. Thank you, my dear Morsi. Thank you so much. Sometimes speaking like this becomes with a heavy heart, and then as knowledge seekers, we know this is. And I say I am very fortunate. I use the word fortunate sometimes because, like normal people. I know we are very fortunate that we are able to understand what to do this the time. Don't go on this manipulation operations anymore. We have our free will still exists as the Creator has created all of us in His image. Thank you so much, beautiful Mercy. Thank you. We are all together. The whole world is together. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Salam, namaste. Thank you, my dear. Bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council. As one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Welcome, my beautiful souls. Beautiful, beautiful souls. Welcome to Swagatam. Have your share what you understood. Say something.
Sweta, thank you. Thank you for being present. Unless somebody else would like to say something, it's Dean here. I will. I'd like to add some words to.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll talk later.
Okay. Is that okay, Mosfeg? You sure?
Yeah, I'm in no hurry.
Thank you, Mosfeg. Thank you for your beautiful soul. Okay, so I'd like to just quickly just say something to. There's many souls present that are in a position, in a place, in a land, in a from an emotional condition that is part of a human being being present on one part of planet Earth. And the soul of the people, the collective soul, knows what has taken place, what has been accepted, and what has been taken from the globe, from the world, and then repositioned and brought back to this tiny island. And in this moment, this tiny island, I'm talking about the UK, is going through some turmoil that is in the physicality, in the form of physicality, is being turned into a position of unrest of the physical body. And there are very many adults and children and multicultural beings present that have got them an aspect of them that is not in the correct ethos of creation. And they are creating mayhem. So the soul has to pay back what you take. And whether you take individually from your relatives, your siblings, from your community, the soul always knows, and you always have to balance the book. In the end, when you transmute, you'll have to balance the book. And whether you are in a position you call yourself a leader, a leader of men. What does that even mean? When you become a leader of yourself, when you have correct ethos from the very moment that you are present, then you become the beauty of a soul that would never do wrong, would never incite other souls to create mayhem. Because that mayhem is a direct reflection of what is within inside me. So when I stand before, and when I stand in the position of a soul present in this moment, I create, like these beautiful souls that are speaking today, the tenderness and warmth of them and what they represent. And they give unconditionally. They don't take, they just give. And they receive back through the love and care that they give. They don't intentionally go out to create mayhem, because they've understood the law of creation. What you take from, you have to give back to. There's a balance. And as I said, whether it's a person or a nation, a leader, or in the time to come, in a very short time, as Mr. Keshe would say, we are going to be representing humanity. And remember, the souls that have been present know every single deed that humanity has committed, has decided to play out in these moments. You cannot hide from that. And you, as a collective or an individual, have to balance that. And it only takes one moment of intention to change. In this very precise moment, you can be within yourself, realize that, as Mr. Keshe would say, the wealth is within me. And then start giving in a different way. And you will receive everything you need without taking. And then you can call yourself a leader of men. And that starts with being a leader inside yourself, a true essence of creation, the beauty of you that is the spark of creation that sits within your structure and is part of you. So we give from our soul to the soul that sits within your structure. And we thank you for the beauty that is present here with us, because we see it. And now is the moment, the time to transmute and for the body to catch up. Thank you, Mosfek. Your turn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dean. So speaking of the chaos, we have from this corner of the planet a little bit more, I think. So Mr. Keshe also mentioned about Bangladesh in his presentation last time. And yes, things have been happening here, you know. And some of you may have heard what happened, but the situation is interesting. This whole it was planned, from what can be gathered. It is a planned effort to create fear among people by the entity that was running the country, and the students started protesting, and then various other elements that are what do you call it, that creates fighting and confusion, all that entered the picture. And as is the way of governing on this planet, there is this an element that creates chaos, the ruling entity has a solution, and there is again another chaos, and the ruling entity has or change a position and create some solution, some chaos. It goes back and forth, chaos and solution. In the end, not much gets done, but such is the way things are done, and it has been like this for many years here, and. So there was students started protesting. This was all peacefully done, and they were not causing any alarm or anything. Just speaking in unison. In any case, and then there was the level of shooting. Many people died by the police here, and many civilians, and including children, women, were killed in the process, and the number is rather alarming. It happened within about a week or so, and so anyway, but the students remained peaceful, and which is very nice. Although there is an element of the student body which is associated with the ruling class, they were causing problems. They tried to incite various things, but nothing happened. But as people died, the students were joined by their parents and the teachers, and the whole country was involved in the process. So there was nothing anybody could do to stop that. From that point on, it was like, how is, a government that's, killing their own people? Anyway, so it was like that. And so, the prime minister escaped and, fled and all that, but the interesting thing is that there is a dynamics that's going on that's quite interesting. It's a very concerted, planned effort, because the interesting part of the police that were doing the shooting were not Bangladeshi people. They were brought from elsewhere. They look similar to us. They were dressed in police clothing. They were, obviously trained in handling arms. And each police installation, there's one like about 5 minutes walk from here. And all of these facilities had from 150 to, in each, 150 to 200 of these people. And they don't speak Bengali. And they were doing the shooting. So who brought them? Why they were brought? You can see the situation. And even they used UN vehicles during this process, which is even more alarming. So it's a planned effort. Not only didn't necessarily originate from here. The government was part of it for sure, but there's more to the story. And some of these police, people figured this out, and they got beaten. Some of them were, just mob attacked them with sticks or whatever they had in their hand. And but on the whole, things were very peaceful. Only thing that happened is that these people were, even yesterday, some of them, they were escaping and they were shooting, and people died yesterday. And at night, when I was in the meeting with the Universal Council preparing for this thing, I kept my phone off because there was a lot of shooting going on, because these guys were in the police installation nearby, were firing at the people from the rooftop. And but there were few, so the mob people essentially stormed the place, and some of them were like, mob got really mad. People got really mad, so they were. Some of them died, and some of them were taken by the military, Bangladesh military. And the interesting thing is that the military, who is saying all this time that we are here on people's side, but these people, this military was protecting these so-called police. And I saw video from the airport taken by people. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of these polices in Bangladesh police clothes are boarding plane and leaving Bangladesh. The army is protecting them. So army is on which side? So this is an interesting thing, because similarly, it has been in, people know this very well here because their family and friends went. A large part of Bangladesh army has been moved to other places on behalf of UN. So the other countries, so these guys are doing it in some other place. The Bangladeshis have been sent to other places to do the same. But it was done to Bangladesh the first time. So it was a planned effort to create scare. But people actually, overturned the whole situation. So in many countries, there are elements that are entering the country, and often at the behest of the governments. What is the plan. Bangladesh is the example of it. That's why I'm talking about it so openly. Bangladesh is the first project which failed. Since it failed, the rest of it is not going to succeed. And this is from one nation, one planet, one race. And it won't be allowed in any part of the world. I am sure some of these people, since Indians and us look the same, they are there in the name of squashing the Muslim uprising. It's being used right now. So that kind of things. So you get the picture, and UN vehicle is there. So some of these things are very alarmingly obvious. I am giving you this information from around me. Everybody saw this. I saw this. And, in front of my house, which is in fairly good neighborhood in this city, people died. So, and the number is very high. I'm not going to talk about the numbers, but it is successful, this peaceful protest. Some of the other elements, law enforcement, are in question, definitely. And those who are in charge, so to speak, the top level, they are missing or fled. Some of them may have been captured. I'm not following it as closely because things will kind of settle. But people died yesterday for sure because of this fight not fight, really. They were not fighting. They didn't have any guns, but the police, so-called police. So anyway, now who these police are, it's, some of them are likely to be Indians, but they're not from the Bengal region, which is the other part of Bengali community, which is adjacent to Bangladesh. None of these people speak Bengali, and they're from some other distant region of India, because they don't have cultural similarity, or these are foreign people, easy to kill, kind of. And they've been brainwashed too. I mean, it's we have to elevate these people's soul as well. And just like us, we have been brainwashed as well. So it's not that it's unique to us. So, they are victims of their institutions. So, yes, the mob activity will happen because, they're shooting people who are unarmed. And the interesting thing is that, the protection they got from the Bangladesh military is a very alarming thing. And so the things are easy to piece together. Anybody can work it out. So whichever country you live in, if there is some of these mob activity going on and there are some people working against the mob, you know what's working, who is doing it, how it's being done. And we partially solved it. There is still things to settle, but it appears that people are not going for the political parties. The students are they said that the students are still talking a lot, and they're saying we do not trust the army or military. So that's how it's going. But this is a good indication that it's heading towards something that we are talking about. So let's see. We did our part here. Let's be alert and aware elsewhere on the planet so that we can make the situation better in those places and learning from the experience that we had here, and a successful experience, at least up to a point right now. And let's do the soul elevation to those who suffered from this situation and those who caused the suffering as well, because they too need guidance. And so which includes the high-level people of government, wealthy high-level people, whatever they are. It doesn't matter. They are another soul needing elevation, needing guidance, needing a way to become part of this one nation, one planet, one race. And we stand together and we do it in peace and with our soul's effort. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Moshe. As I will say, as Bengali community, coming from Bengali community, I will say that this pain forces from India has been created mayhem, killed, kind of genocide in Sri Lanka, in Afghanistan, many places, in many small islands in Myanmar, and people have now revolt. There's a revolution against it, and they are succeeding. And I will say, whatever has happened is not going to happen anymore. From Gaza to Ukraine to Bangladesh, and these people, creating mayhem, is going to they are going to elevate, of course, with a body or without a body. But then the beauty is the soul understands everything, and whatever India has supported, and they allowed Sheikh Hasina to land. So I will say, this is not going to happen again. We are elevating also, and no life will be sacrificed in this way. This has been from eons. This shouldn't be happening again. All souls have deserved this living life in this beauty and totality forever. And we make this decision, this intention for all souls that exist. Thank you, my dear Moshe. Thank you, my dear Dean. And thank you. Any sharing or question, my dear Rick?
Yes, I have a question from Moshfaq. I guess you should be careful who profits from it at the end. And I was wondering if you have something like petrol or minerals or riches of your country, because the Qataris have found petrol and gas in the shore where Gaza is actually they have made the contracts for that also already. But what does, as the richness of the land, do you have which makes all these games?
The richness of this place is that the rich poor people and their humbleness, something that I'm learning from. We have one of the best resources, a large number of these poor people, and they are the harbinger of the change to come as one nation, one planet, one race. There is nothing better you can have.
I hope at the end all these sacrifices would turn out something good for the majority of people, because then they should prove that the governors have to respect people, because that's where the work comes from. That's where they have been put on the power by these people. And it's important the governments learn this, to respect the
well, I don't know of any country that's really true. Democracy really does not exist. We dictate the term as one nation, one planet, one race from now on. There is no other option. And they do, I mean, not only do they not respect the people, they steal from people. When they're not fighting, they steal from people. Taxation, you call it, they call it in various names, but Mr. Keshe talked about this taxation issue. In other planets, elsewhere, this is not necessary. None of these is necessary. This is a very peculiarity of this particular planet. And if you know a little bit about what happens in other planets, you know that this is absolute insanity, really. And so the new terms are coming into operation. You know, the students, you know, although they may not know about all of these things, you know, we are doing our part, the Keshe Foundation people here, and you know, some of it is going. I mean, and it worked out in the sense that peaceful protest, and it took 2 weeks for all these changes. So things are moving very fast. The speed has picked up. So we are moving even in the physical dimension at a faster rate. So, you know, I think things are going very well. We just have to keep it on.
I wish well for your country. Peaceful people.
No longer my country. It's just a small example of what is to come. Things are going to get a little bit, as Mr. Keshe also pointed out, a little bit hokey or a little more mayhem. Let's see. We are there to take care of it. So let's do it.
In the end, it's a process of learning for people. Sometimes in the process of learning, they have to pass by ups and downs like that to learn what they're supposed to do as people and their rights, to wake up, not to just continue that miserable way that they were abused. I hope it turns out to be the right end for waking up and learning of the people. Because as long as people, they don't learn, there's always somebody with another color of heart abuse them. with whatever they might say, they cheat people. But when they learn, they get educated on their rights, nobody can cheat on them.
Yeah, and that had to happen, and that's what happened here. And I mean, for most part, most educated people right now who have been brainwashed in the universities are not in a position to do such things. So I mean, it's a learning experience for the whole planet. And here the poor people are teaching us how to do it.
Thank you for sharing that for us, with us.
Thank you, Mehran. Rick, any sharing or asking any questions from beautiful souls?
We have one question here. Kind of relates to your comment in the chat about the United Nations as a form of criminal organization and should not exist in this way. We have a comment from Stephen in the YouTube. It says, have you sent this information to the United Nations? I sent this information to the Vice President under Trump. And he has another comment, I will sign the peace treaty today. So is this information sent to the United Nations?
United Nations knows everything, my dear Stephen. They know everything. And because they know everything, they do everything they want. They don't unite people. They don't unite nations. They divide everything at the root, that everything breaks down. Nothing left. So they know everything. But now we know in whatever is happening is in the subtle. We see them properly. That was before that we are only, same understanding that maybe there are few people in the United Nations or United Nations standing in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and this even the fight is going so hard, so cruel. Everywhere there's this ammunition and people have losing their legs and hands and eyes and dying like in pieces. But the reporter from United Nations, a doctor from United Nations, a person from United Nations is standing very safely, with a United Nations vehicle and all guard. He's standing, no, nothing is harmed. So I will say they know what is happening and created by whom. And they nourish that up till now. But now it is not going to happen, my dear. Peace is to be. It should be. And now we don't need any United Nations for that. We need you. We need all of us here. This one nation, one planet, one race. My dear, understand the love of your heart. Give what is needed. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me clarify a little bit here. The United Nations vehicle were used to shoot people from so that they don't get harmed, because this is an armored vehicle. These are all armored vehicles, and the Bangladesh army that is being sent overseas are being financed by UN. They and their equipments are going to UN. Where is UN taking such a large number of people to do what? What do these UN soldiers do? You have to ask these questions because it is quite evident what has happened here. It's not that difficult to understand. So UN is part of the plan, not the solution.
Thank you, my dear. Any other sharing or question, my dear Rick?
I don't see anything else here.
Okay, then we can go forward.
Dean has a microphone open.
Shweta, I'd just like to say that we speak of all these things, and we are very aware and very I don't know the right word, respectful of what has taken place. The souls need elevating. The soul needs to understand what it's doing. There is no reason to receive something. It could be an order from another soul, and if you know it's wrong in you, you have to stand there and say, "No, I don't do. I have the correct ethos in me." So, one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. And the souls present here have the ability and will create the condition for change. This will end on this planet. It's time for this planet to stop the killing. And we are present. And no matter what is put before us, the soul of man, the soul of the universe, the soul of the creator is present in this moment. And we are present with the creator. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, my dear Dean. Beautiful. Now we can go to the next.
We are honored to be here to serve, not to be served.
The Universal Council. Thank you, Mehran, my dear. Thank you to be kind. Thank you. And I will again say, join, jump in, love, be in love, my dear. Live like a living being, like we are. I'm sorry for the sound. Thank you. Join, live. Hello. And be in this joy, my dear beautiful soul. Elevate all souls. Communicate with all souls. So, join in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship organization. Welcome, welcome to the beauty and totality of all souls in existence. Welcome to the universal community, my dear beautiful souls. This is Shweta Anwar. See the language. Salam, namaste, salute for your presence here always. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, all of you, for this beautiful, nice program.
And I'd just like to say happy birthday, the Universal Council and Mr. Keshe. Thank you for being present and thank you for your beauty, each and every one of you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Feels good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So much.
By the way, I just wanted to mention something. So our success in Bangladesh is the gift to the Universal Council from this part of the world. Thank you.
And a lovely gift it is. Thank you, Moshfek, and all the members of the Universal Council for their gifts today. It's been another wonderful workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for attending today's 338th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, August 6, 2024. So that brings to a close today's program. And our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. And that starts tomorrow, Wednesday, August 7th at 7 a.m. Central European Time, which is the same as 10 p.m. today, Tuesday, August 6th in Pacific Time. So folks are invited, young and old, to attend that. If you like to listen to more of the practical side of the plasma technology and discuss topics of various kinds. Okay, I think that is it for our announcements.
Rick, my dear, beautiful souls, always live in love and light, my dear.
Wait a minute, we have...
Do you want to remind everyone about the testimonial coming back?
Okay. Thank you for that. The testimonials. Let's just have a look at my map here. It appears to be Monday the 12th coming up will be our public meeting for testimonials, as it's called. And thank you for the reminder, Mark. And so if you have a testimonial of the plasma technology, then that is a great time to let others know about it, share your knowledge or share your experience, whether it's a small thing or a big thing. It doesn't really matter so much as just the act of sharing in that environment. So again, that's August 12th, and that starts at the 8 p.m. Central European Time, Central European Summer Time, that is. And yeah, so that's...
Here is a testimonial. We are all in love.
Okay. Bring it to the testimonial. Bring your love to the testimonials meeting. That's the important thing. That's what it amounts to. We have some great meetings there.
Had some music and dance. Beautiful souls.
Okay,
thank you all. Beautiful stars. Thank you all.
Yes, indeed. And happy birthday again to the Universal Council, who has been at it for quite a few years here now. All right. We'll go out with the flight enhancement spaceship unit as per usual, and we'll dance our way to the next thing in life. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye for now.